Nufc Undisputed.
Welcome, everybody. There you go. Everybody's telling me I was on mute.
Whoa, I was gonna
Uh,
say, I'm thinking, is it me or what?
Oh my goodness. Well, that's an amateur mistake right there. Welcome to NUFC Talk
Well, there
TV.
you go. That's another 5 minutes. You better get spouting again.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to NUFC Talk TV. Welcome to Undisputed Show with Mighty Win. Don't think that we're gonna. I was saying I don't think we're gonna get into the ranting and banting as we usually do on this show, but well, maybe we have to because the thumbnail suggests that we need to do that, but we don't want to clickbait nobody, do we? But we got a few things to talk about. The main topic, of course, is Isak, and we're going to get into what the latest report is on his negotiations. But you see your comments scrolling through the screen there. Beer Vikings says, "I prefer the Mighty Win with no sound." There you go. Hit the like button. Help us out. The first thing you need to be doing is hit that like button and then start chatting. For some reason, the chat always opens first, so close that chat for a second. Hit the like button and continue chatting away, giving us your opinion on whatever you think, whatever your opinion is on the topic that we're discussing. So shout out to all of you, of course. And Mighty Wayne, how you doing, mate?
Doing good, doing good. Yep, been busy boy the day, doing a lot of different things, but
What you been doing, man?
I've been doing lots of stuff,
You been doing
lots of chores.
nothing you can tell us public.
Well, it would
What?
just bore you rigid.
Okay,
I've
man.
been to the council to discuss
Wait.
council tax. I've been, yeah,
Oh
what
my
do you want to
goodness.
know?
Well, we don't want to know too much, man. You got your little trip to Chinatown. We don't want to do too much. We don't want to know too many details, man.
Well, I
It's,
called in
it's
at the thing.
it could only be a 2 minute story anyway. So, anyways, hit the like button, folks. Subscribe if you're new. You can super chat us if you want to highlight your comment or your opinion, and of course, help us. Help us with the channel. You can also gift memberships away if you want to do that and enjoy the exclusive contents of members. We're definitely probably tomorrow we'll try to do a member show. So stay tuned for that one,
Definitely,
of course.
probably. That's a
Well, definitely,
oxymoron, isn't it?
probably. Yeah, so it's somewhere in there. We're trying to make it, but we got a lot of shows, so we're trying to get a bit of a break if we can. But we'll definitely try to do something for members pretty soon. We always do anyway on a weekly basis and videos and. By the way, people like your videos that you send me on match days, so send those every match day, every home match day, and record whatever outside of St. James's Park, and we'll put it for members because they definitely. I see you did an interview there with some people, three other guys. People like those. You remember? You don't even remember that, do you?
Yeah, that was a nice
I
match
mean,
after
you
the
look
match.
lost. You look lost, man. You need to say, yeah. I mean, I got you. I got you. No worry. Nibala, man.
Yeah.
Nibala. Well, damn, you just lost. You was just looking at the camera like, come on, man. Alzheimer's kicking in. But all right, so we got to talk about Alexander Isak, and it looks like, according to Graeme Bailey, and again, we take these articles, these reports with a grain of salt. It gives us something to talk about, some possibilities, because it could happen that he doesn't sign the contract. It is a possibility, nonetheless. But it creates a conversation between the panel, which is me and Mighty Win, and you guys in the chat, and of course, all of us really interacting with each other. So, but they are reporting right now. It's also written by Dan Owen. We have to name everybody, all the sources that we get this information from, and they're saying that Newcastle's talks and conversations about Isak's new contract have stalled because apparently the player wants there's a few things in the contract that the Isak camp is not agreeing with Newcastle United. Verbatim, though, what they're saying is contract talks between Newcastle United and Alexander Isak have stalled, with the Premier League giants, Arsenal and Chelsea, sniffing around the Sweden international. That just creates a little bit of so people can click on it really, but which they do. Arsenal was interested, but they are hopeful. They are hopeful that they will. This article says that Newcastle is hopeful that they will get a signature anyway. So this could be a nothing burger, but nevertheless, there is a minor epiphany with the release clause. Apparently, Isak's camp wants a release clause. Newcastle doesn't want to have a release clause because obviously, when they do that, anybody can come in and take the player when they want to. And maybe they do agree that they want a release clause. However, the amount of money, if it's too high, it definitely deters other clubs from doing it, from activating the release clause. If it's too cheap, anybody can come get a striker like Isak, and no negotiations needed. He'll just walk free. And also, by the way, there are some players that put certain teams in their contract. Per se, he can say, if Real Madrid comes and gets me, my release clause is 50 million pounds instead of 100. It happens. It has happened, and it's continuing to happen. So there's a lot of things that we can assume from that. But Mighty Win, what do you think about this particular subject?
Well, let's talk about buyout clauses in general first, because obviously the player wants that buyout clause to be as low as possible,
Right.
and the club will always want it to be as high as possible. For exactly that reason, they want to deter clubs coming in and taking them before they are ready to let them go. I think it's probably with all of these rules and regulations that the Premier League are bringing in, I think it's high time that there should be some correlation between a player's salary
But there is.
and a player's release clause.
There is. If you have a high release clause, you have to pay him a lot of money.
No,
Yes,
but
yes, there is.
there's no defined formula for doing that. So, for example, at the minute, Isak's on 120k, and we paid for him roughly 60 million. So if you correlate those two, you're talking like 50 times the salary for the buyout clause. So what that would mean is, if we put Isak, make him top paid player, which he's probably going to want, because he probably is the most saleable asset that we have right now. I think you would get more for Isak than you would for Gordon, more for Isak than you'd get for Bruno, more for Isak than you'd get for J7. So if he goes on to, let's say, 180k, it's not, and only 180k, it's not unreasonable for him to say that, right, my buyout clause, you're only paying us 180k, my buyout clause should be, what would it be? 80 million.
Based on what?
Based on the 50 times the salary.
Yeah, but how did you come up with that? Where did you?
Because we paid, in rough terms, we paid just over, but we paid 60 million for him.
Yeah, but I'm saying is who's saying that you're gonna get that amount of money, or are you just playing a game making that up?
What I'm saying is, in order to so that you don't have this dichotomy between what
So
the club want to put in and what the player's agent wants to put in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know,
It should be
you're saying
it should be fixed across the board.
it should be fixed across all the Premier League. As far as I know, it is. Maybe different leagues have different stuff. As far as I know, I've always known this. But maybe because
What's
regardless,
fixed?
it should be. If it's not, it should be fixed. Like where the higher the player gets paid, the more money he gets in the contract, the higher his release clause will be.
No, well,
Uh,
you see, for a start, there's very, very few players, very few, have release clauses in their contract.
Man, that's not true. You need to watch world football, man. In South America, there's a lot of them.
Right? Well, that's
There's
in
a lot
South
of football.
America. That's in South
Yeah,
America.
yeah, which is includes a lot of countries. You're talking about one country in particular, which is
Well, I'm
English
talking
football.
about my league. I'm talking about the Premier League.
Exactly. So, but there are a lot of players with release clause nowadays. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game.
and it's becoming. I mean, but it's a very recent thing. It's only in the last 3, 4, 5 years
Yeah,
that players
because
have had release clauses in their contracts. And what I'm saying is, if this is going to be the case, if this is going to be a big issue, then we need to have some sort of formula,
exactly.
so it's going to say to the club, look, if you are valuing Isak at 100 million, you should be paying him 100 grand a week.
but with that being said,
Sorry, you
though,
should be paying him 200 grand a week.
with that being said, like B-Right can put up an example, a very good example. Marcus Rashford's release clause would be he would be the highest ever
Yeah.
paid player, and they would never.
And why shouldn't Man United have that
Well, at this point, probably
insurance, if you
hold on.
like,
At this point, though,
when they've been prepared to pay him 350 grand a week?
at this point, though, Man United probably would hate to have a release clause that high for
Well, no,
Rashford.
because the
Yeah,
selling
because
club.
if he's not performing, if he's as bad as Rashford is now in the past
Yeah.
3 4 years,
But the
nobody
selling
will ever. You will never buy him. You will
right,
never. You
okay.
never know. You will not sell him, brother.
It doesn't matter. The selling club doesn't have to sell him for 175 million.
Yeah, but if you want to get rid of a player, you're screwed.
Well, no, you don't, because you don't have to sell him for 100. You could sell him for 30 million.
But the contract is a high contract. So who's going to buy somebody
Well,
that's getting 300?
that's his
Well,
contract. That's something you've got to sort out with
but
a player. That's the problem we've got right at this moment in time. That
yeah,
we've got too many players on too high wages.
I don't know if what Jordan Tune for Life is correct, but I've seen in La Liga a lot of players have release clause. So he's saying that it's stipulated in Spanish law. Don't
Well,
know about that, but so it's not. You gotta wake up, man.
no, man. Just
Yeah,
honest to God, Chris, man.
yeah.
For a start, it can't be in Spanish law because Spanish
Oh, like
law,
he could mean La Liga
Spain,
law.
or in the EEC,
He
Spain are
could mean
governed.
he could mean La Liga law. So it's not
Right.
it
Okay.
doesn't
Well,
have-
it could be
it could
in the La Liga rules,
yeah.
which probably somebody could go if they have. I mean, I've never ever seen it. I've never heard tell of it. That there is a specific ratio between salary and buyout clause. It's just whatever the agents can manage to get in. They want it as low as possible, so it makes that player more flexible to move. The clubs want it as high as possible, so that nobody can come in and get a superstar on the cheap.
Well, let me. I just looked.
What I'm saying is that if there was a fixed ratio that operated, then everybody would know where they stood.
Well, let me
And
read you.
if we think, which I do think, Isak's worth at least 120 million.
I'm just reading this from New York Times. Reputable. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar media company. I don't know what you can call reputable these days, but
Exactly.
but you get the point. That no La Liga players are not required to have a release clause in their contract, but they are highly desirable. However, Spain's employment law does give the right to break their contract at any time to join a new club without a release clause. That's what he's saying here. Oh no, sorry. That wasn't the right. I read the wrong thing. That was AI overview. Sorry about that. I was reading the wrong thing. New York Times is saying, does every player have a release clause? Pretty much yes. They are not mandatory in Spain, but the law certainly makes them desirable. Essentially, Spain's employment law gives each player the right to, which kind of is the same thing I was reading earlier on. But yes, pretty much most players do have a release clause in La Liga. They are not mandatory according to the New York Times. Subimendi has one. Nico Williams has, all those top players, and I guarantee you, Mbappe has one. Mbappe is in a whole lot of problems right now. But they do have. So it's a thing now. It's a thing. Even managers, and also, by the way, we're talking about money. There are players and managers that have release clause with money involved, but for certain teams. If you didn't know this, before I even met all of you guys, I was reading on a website. I believe it was goal.com. Again, big website, but you never know. They did say that Bruno Guimaraes last season had, before his new contract, had a release clause or had a stipulation in his contract. If Barcelona came to get him, the amount of money they were going to pay was a lot cheaper, like 60% cheaper. For other clubs, it was normal, and then that expired, and then he got a new contract and all that stuff. So you can put. There's a manager right now managing in Mexico.
No, you see, but
that,
hang on a minute, because you're wrong there.
Why am I? You tell me why I'm wrong there.
Because the contract that Bruno signed, in the latest contract that Bruno signed, not the one when we signed him, he didn't have a release clause in his contract.
Well, I'm telling you what I read in the first contract.
The latest contract that he signed had a release clause in it.
I'm not talking about that.
But that expired, and he agreed to it, and he signed the contract saying that release clause expired on the 24th of June, 2024. So Bruno's current contract does not have a release clause in it.
I'm not talking about the new contract. Let me see.
The contract that you're on about, the release clause you're on about that ended on June the 24th, 2024, that did have additional clauses within it about outside the Premier, inside the Premier League. It was anybody coming from the Premier League had to pay such and such. If there was a team outside the Premier League, but they had to be in the Champions League, then it was a different price.
Well, I'm giving you right now. I'm looking at Forbes.com. Another big one. Say Newcastle United midfielder Bruno Guimaraes will be. This was posted January 12th, 2024. They're posting this. Newcastle United midfielder Bruno Guimaraes will be able to leave for less than his 100 million pound release clause if it means completing a dream move to FC Barcelona, according to a British outlet Football Transfers and Diario AS, who is the biggest media outlet in Spain. So I'm getting that from here. So you're telling me I'm wrong, but
no. Well, I'm telling you, you're right.
No. Well,
but I'm saying that his current contract does not. His contract right.
I never said. I never said his current contract. I never said his current contract. I said his old contract.
When he signed his new contract, the one that improved his terms and conditions, his wages, from what he was under contract already when we signed him, on whatever it was, 80 grand a week or something. And when he signed his new contract, taking him to 180 grand a week, 160 grand a week, then he wanted a release clause in his contract up until, and they had that to and fro, and they agreed he could have the release clause until 24th of June 2024.
By the way, I'm not talking about. I'm clarifying everything because it got twisted. I'm not talking about his new contract. I was talking about his old contract. And right here, Eurosport also said Newcastle could lose in 2023 October, could lose Bruno Guimaraes to Barcelona for £60 million. According to reports, while former Tottenham boss Jose Mourinho reportedly wants a reunion with Eric Dyer and is keen to bring the defender of Roma, whatever, and they're saying that Barcelona could activate that release clause on that previous contract. All I was saying with so people, so that goes to Stephen Harker, by the way, as well. I'm not talking about his current contract. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what was in his original contract. Found two reputable websites, you can say, or big websites about that on his old contract. My point was with the Isak situation, there are players that might say, if Real Madrid wants me, my clause is I want to be able to leave for that specific club for less money. It can happen. It happens with managers all the time as well. So it also happens with managers with national teams. With national teams all the time. Pochettino has had a release clause while he was with Chelsea. Had a release clause. If Argentina came to get him, he was going to be able to break his contract. That it happens. So apparently that is the epiphany. That is the epiphany that right now Newcastle and the Isak team are having is the release clause. So we don't know exactly what's happening. It could be a club that he might want to be interested in, or it could be money. It could be too high. I don't know. So that is, what we're getting at. Um, Jonathan Shaw says we can't trust all the media tripe out there. People say they're in the know, but how can that be checked? Makes them look important. That is true, but it gives us something to talk about. If not, we can't have shows. We got to talk about something, and because it's not something that it's not pigs flying. It's something that could happen. You know, um, so it's simple football. Um,
He signed his new contract on the 7th of October 2023. And that included a buyout clause which expired on the 24th of June 2024. He didn't have a buyout clause in his contract when we signed him from Lyon. So what you're talking about is absolutely right. That he had a deal where it wasn't necessarily Barcelona, but if a team from outside the Premiership, but in the Champions League, came for him, he could leave for less than the 100 million, which was the buyout clause for anybody in the Premiership.
So essentially, I was right. Anyway, Craig Lee. I don't know why people get so upset about players leaving. They come and go. I'd sell anyone tomorrow for the right money. 100 million for Bruno. Bye.
Yep,
Ooh.
I agree.
But the point is not getting rid of our best players though, because that's the point. Now, listen, am I going to cry when people? I don't. I cry for my family, man. I don't give a damn about too much. Football is football. But it is. I mean, if you want the team to succeed, you can't have 11 numpties running around. You have to have quality players, especially right now. We don't have a full squad. But going back to Alexander Isak, though, which by the way, there's that report that I was reading earlier. They say that Newcastle is hopeful that they will, that he will sign a contract. But it is that situation. There's a lot of possibilities for that release clause if that's the issue. They do say that Gordon is pretty much a done deal. We don't know. We'll never know that until he signs the contract. So that's a positive. And Isak, I don't think the money. There's an issue with the money that they are offering him. I think he will be the highest paid, along with Gordon, highest paid players in the team. But there is that situation, and the negotiations, according to this, first started taking place in Easter week, which that was when was that? When was that?
April.
March or April. So it's an interesting topic. I don't know if you got more takes on that.
No, but you quoted for the Bruno business. You quoted a couple of you said New York Times. Yes, they are
Forbes.
they are reputable, but in what you quoted from them, they said according to football transfers, and I'm looking at football transfers, and it's just a football blog.
But so you're telling me the New York,
Footballtransfers.com is
yeah,
just a
but
football blog. The same. Me and you could put it up and put what we
yeah,
like on it.
I would assume the New York Times is as big as they are wouldn't just back any website, but maybe it's just a good friend that just started a
What I'm
blog
saying
and
is, I wouldn't give Football Transfers website the same credence that I would give to New York Times or whatever the Spanish
yeah.
publication you were on about was.
No, but the other one was Forbes about Bruno stuff, and the other one was Diario As.
Yeah, even for
Was a
Forbes,
big one.
it was the Forbes article that quoted according to Football Transfers. Was it? Was it
Yeah.
not?
No, that was New York Times, I believe. But anyway, Bruno wasn't in the conversation anyway. But or the main topic really is the Isak
Well, essentially,
situation.
put yourself in Eales's position or Paul Mitchell's position. What would you think was a reasonable release clause for Bruno?
Oh, that's a good question. And
For
please,
right, for sorry, for Isak.
for Isak, in the chat, please let us know your what was the highest release clause you would give Isak?
Well,
And
no, what's the lowest? What's the
or the
lowest, really?
well the lowest. What would you see him go with or be comfortable with? Me, it has to be 100 million at least. Um, it depends on what your plans are. But
Well,
you know,
say
if you
for,
wanted to be if you want to be a respectable club, you know, you can't make it easy to get rid of players. Um,
no, for me
essentially,
it would be 120 million at least.
and
If Jack Grealish has gone for 100 million,
and that might be why he doesn't want to. You know, he not they're not comfortable signing that. Well, what do you do then? You say 125.
well,
He's like, no, not gonna do it.
it's not like there's any rush. He's here till 2028. Who says he's going to have another season like last season?
Well, we can only hope. I mean,
Fingers crossed, of
uh,
course. But
I mean, you know, he's a top striker, so I'm gonna bet that he will. He's a striker. He's going to score goals. It's not like a midfielder that you know or even a winger. The strikers are based on goals. They score goals pretty simple. So I think he will. Um, and you know, but you said his contract is until 28.
yeah,
Why are we bothering with a new contract then?
well, because he's only on 120 grand a week now, and he's got Bruno, he's got Gordon's gone
Uh,
on to 180, Bruno's gone on to 160, J7's gone on to 155.
and that's the epiphany you get onto when you give people top contracts after one season.
Well, there you go.
Because now Gordon had one season, you gotta renew his contract. So now Harvey Barnes is gonna have a blast of a season. So you gotta give him the best contract.
Well,
Tonali's gonna have another one. You gotta give him another contract.
I have more confidence that Gordon can replicate his last season than I have that Isak can replicate his last season.
I think that is. I don't agree with that, but you know, just
Well, there
opinions.
you go.
That's just opinion.
and that's
I,
whoever's making these decisions. That's what they've got to decide.
which with strikers is pretty simple though. They just score. So as long as he scores 25, 30 goals, he's done.
He's done.
Gordon can't do that.
He's done.
Gordon is based on really extremely good performances.
Yeah.
You know, and so goal scorers is a pretty easy job. Well, not easy. I mean, obviously, you know,
It's the hardest job in football.
you have to score. And he's certainly proven that he can do that. Beer Viking, Isak 200 million. He says Stephen Harker 140, 200 million though. But he has to sign it. He's not going to sign
for
it.
me, if you think Isak is worth 200 million,
You're going to have to give him
you should be paying him
300,
400
400, yeah. And that's the thing, you know. I wouldn't put that. As much as I love Isak, I wouldn't do that. Because you don't want to get in that predicament. You don't want to get in that predicament where you know you're giving all these players big, huge contracts. We're not even there yet as far as making money ourselves to be paying people like that. you're going to be in big trouble with FFP. No rules have been changed. Nothing has changed really. So other than they're going to look for a new rule at some point, which I heard that or read that the meeting this week was postponed. I don't know if it's true or not. It should be tomorrow, Wednesday, right? So
Well, I thought it was Wednesday, and somebody was saying in the chat the other day that they thought it was Thursday. Gary was saying when they say end of the week, they normally mean Thursday or Friday. So
it's up for grabs.
Yeah. See if there's anything BBC or anything.
Let me see. Beer bike and 100 million is nothing these days for a young elite striker who's also a playmaker. Now, well, I agree with that. I agree with that because I mean Declan Rice going for 100+ million, 100 million really, 105 whatever. And Caicedo, I could agree with you because those were not proven. And in this particular case, you know that Arsenal did pay 105, I think, for Declan Rice. So what stops them from paying another 100 for Isak? Probably nothing, to be honest.
Okay.
It's a dangerous.
This was 7 hours ago. The Premier League has postponed a key meeting of its clubs, originally scheduled for Thursday, that was intended to decide how to respond to last week's verdict in the legal battle with Man City over rules governing commercial deals. On Friday, Chief Executive Richard Masters warned clubs it was, quote, taking the necessary time to take stock of the ruling and hinted at a possible delay. So it's now been that possible delay that Masters alluded to on Friday has now been confirmed. So there ain't going to be one this week by all accounts looking at this.
So there's not going to be one, huh?
No.
There you go. I knew it. I knew it. I got it. I saw that
Well,
piece of
let's
news.
get going, man. Mark our own homework. Get those deals through the door.
Yeah, you can only hope and dream, but it's not going to happen, man. I'm telling you. I just don't see it. Hopefully you'll get something in, but not the way we're playing it. We're playing too safe. Too safe. Birike and Lavia was 105, Enzo 115. Isak really should be 200. Yeah, but you're gonna have to give him a lot of money, man. A lot of money because at this point he's gonna say, well, 200. Just think about it. 200 release clause. That means not very many clubs in the world will pay for that. And so that means I'm stuck here. So you're gonna have to pay me, and you're gonna have to pay me real good. And so that's kind of where it gets. Look, you can have one bet or one risk or one player that you risk all your eggs on, if that's a thing. But you can't do that every player though. So my concern is with how in the ecstasy of seeing a player play good, like we did with Gordon. Now he's the highest paid player going to be. In that ecstasy and that high that we're on, that the Mighty Win promotes heavily on this channel, I'm afraid that we're gonna do the same BS with every player, and then we're gonna be broke. We're gonna be broke because nothing's changed as far as rules is concerned. If we're allowed to spend all this money, then whatever, pay these guys whatever. But we're not. So I think you can risk it with one, but every player, I don't know. Because Harvey Barnes, we're gonna want, if he has a good season, he's gonna want a new contract. Tonali, the same thing.
And if he's earned it, he'll get it.
Yeah, but no, but we can't afford that.
Well,
we can't afford that, and also get new players because we have a knackered squad, man. Where our squad is knackered, so we need to buy players. On top of that, you're gonna have to pay these guys salary. Where is this money coming from? Legally, I'm talking about. Not what we speculate that we're going to get Aramco for 1 trillion a year. What we have net right now is we just don't have it. You've done the math. I mean, I think we got the money to spend for new players, but if we had to pay these contracts, because I believe it is immediate. It goes. So if Gordon signs a contract, whatever we pay him this season, that new contract will go to the PSR, right? It doesn't wait a year or whatever.
No. It's all in the current year. The salary's in the current year.
Exactly. So it's and Niall says Barnes is an impact sub at best. I disagree with that. I think he's a starter.
Well, no, he's a
Uh,
love child.
no, but you could say that about Gordon as well. You know, Gordon's an impact sub. All of us impact.
That's
Isak
nonsense.
could be
No, no,
Isak is an impact sub.
you can't. Well, you can certainly say that about Isak,
No, exactly.
except he
See,
doesn't.
you,
Except he
you
doesn't
got
have an impact.
or you can say Tonali is an impact sub. Pope is an impact sub. You know,
Eh?
Shar is an impact sub. All of the good starters are impact subs. Because when you put them off the bench, they're going to make a damn impact. That's a fact. Because they're the best players, and this should be a starters. That's why they make so much of an impact.
Yeah,
And
except when Barnes starts, he doesn't make an impact.
what are you talking about, man? He certainly makes an impact. You see
Not
it
when
on the
he start.
pitch.
Not when he starts, he doesn't.
Yeah. To me, that makes no difference anyway. Starting, not
He's
starting.
almost invisible.
No. Have you seen Gordon, man? He's one of the most invisible players we had this season, apart from a penalty.
Shut up, man. He's in.
No. It's a fact. He is not performing good.
Whoa! How's it a
It's a
fact?
it's
Just
a
because
fact.
you say it is.
Watching him, he is rubbish. He has been rubbish all season for the majority of games. You can't say he's not. You yourselves have said that he's played horrible.
I can't say he's not.
Yeah, well, that's your opinion.
He's been one of our best players every single game.
No.
Everybody's been playing rubbish, granted, but he's certainly been one of the best players we've had. Not up to his standards last season, granted, because nobody is.
Yeah, but we don't know what his standards are. By the way, we saw him had a good season.
I know
We'll have to
exactly
see.
what his
We'll
standards
see.
are.
No. Based on what? Based on what? One season that you watched.
Based on what
One
he did
season
last
that you
season.
watched. Exactly. So, it's one season. How many times have you seen a player be a one season wonder? Many times. So we'll have to see. You can't. We'll have to see. Now he got the best contract now though, so he should be happy. But remember, when the season started, people are talking about stats. I hope we can put those numbers and put them on the pitch and see what they do. Numbers don't do nothing. Look at the player playing football. What is he doing on the pitch? That's what matters the most. What the player is doing on the pitch. Simple as that. Simple as that. And this season, everybody has been talking about what's going on with Gordon's mind. We try to sell him. Now we screwed his mindset. And now, or England. He didn't play for England. Now he's come back and he's all down and depressed. And then he played great one game against Man City. Everybody forgets of the one game, man. It's unbelievable. Football fans are like this, up and down. What happened a week before never happened to them anymore. What happened the prior week to that, nothing happened no more. Come on, man. You got to look at the whole season. How has Gordon been playing? And I'm not saying that anybody else has been playing great because they haven't. Isak, you can say the same. But Isak can use the excuse of, well, I'm the forward. You got to give me the ball so I can score. I'm sure he's missed opportunities. But at the end of the day, he's the last man to be blamed, in my opinion. So it's interesting. Jonathan Shaw, Barnes has looked his best for us when he's coming off the bench. In agree with you, Chris, though. Gordon hasn't been good, but his win says nobody has. AG is no way a one season wonder. Right attitude. I don't know who's got the right attitude. Gordon hasn't seemed to have the right attitude for the majority of the season. And again, he could be, but we have to wait and see. When are we just going to wait and see before we call these players, the next this, the next that, the next elite players, or we don't know yet. We don't know. Jordan says Gordon has done nothing. Barnes is the best player this season. He's been terrible for England, mighty win. Do you wear special glasses? He's been terrible.
Yeah,
so has Bruno.
Everybody's been terrible for England.
So has Bruno. The same with Joe Exactly. Joe Linton's horrible form. Bruno Guimaraes had his best game against Everton. But before that, all horrible. And we here do not. Nobody takes what's happening. Everybody stays with the last match. You can't do that. You can't do that, man. I'm talking about people that think like that. I mean, look, everybody's got their opinion, but I'm just saying. I don't think nobody's been performing good for me to say this is our best player all season. None of them. If you can actually base it on Barnes probably that he's been best player all season.
Right. Gordon, 6.9 Southampton, 7.4 Forest.
What is that? What are you talking about?
This is his sofa score. 6.9, 7.4, 6.7, 7.5, 7.5, 7.1, 6.7, 7.6.
I mean,
6.7, 6.8. So
we
never below 6.6. Harvey Barnes, just for comparison.
we're gonna play sofa score later. Come on.
Well, I'll
So
go to Fop Mob if you want. You
I don't.
you pick a stat site.
Those are machines, man, doing that. AI doing that.
Yeah, independent.
We're gonna have AI. We're gonna have robots playing the game, folks, pretty soon. Football is gone, man. Everybody's looking at it from a computer, from a website that tells you numbers. Watch the game. What's happened to the beautiful game, folks? Come on, man.
Well,
What's happened to the beautiful game?
Harvey Barnes, according to SofaScore's been playing better than Gordon. There you go.
Well,
6.3 Southampton, so worse there, but 7.5 Bournemouth, 7 Forest, 7.5, 7.5, 7.8 against Fulham,
of course, he
and then
he could have won us the game against Fulham.
6.7, 6.9, 6.6.
And he's played less than Gordon.
Well, yeah, that's taken into consideration with a mark.
Oh, I'm saying he's played less. And look, I'm not taking Sofa on that one, but I'm saying he's played less and he's made more of an impact. And I'm not necessarily saying he's better than Gordon. I'm just saying he's not a numpty compared to Gordon. And I'm saying he needs to be on the pitch. I don't forget nothing. The conversations we've had after these games when he won us the game earlier in the season, when he was performing good, the conversations we've had, fans mad in the chat. Why is Gordon
No, this was
Barnes
last
not
season
starting?
you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about this season. After we do a
what
million
great-
shows a month, man.
What
We
great
do-
games has he had this season, Harvey Barnes?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you at all, no.
What folks, help me answer the mighty win. What great games have we had all season?
Well, we haven't
Help
had
me-
any great games. That's the problem.
Well, as far I'm talking about Harvey Barnes playing. Harvey Barnes. Or great performances has Harvey Barnes had this season? Please help me understand.
I think he'll have a long wait.
I'm waiting. What about the Tottenham game? Did he do
City,
something there?
Tottenham.
Let me remind you against City and Tottenham. I'm just waiting for you to come to your senses, mighty win, or maybe the chat will help you. What about Wolves?
Well, he scored a goal against Wolves.
And he scored against Tottenham, so that's 3
Yeah.
right there. So that's 3 games out of how many we played?
7.
6, 7.
Well, eight with it.
In a lot of these, in the Wimbledon game, obviously the subs played. Come on, man. It's just not fair. You're trying to not be fair with. You're trying to show love to this guy who deserves love, obviously,
not at all.
and deserves time for him to mature, as well as Harvey Barnes. But Barnes doesn't get that
what I
time.
see.
Barnes doesn't get that time. That's the
No.
problem. That's the agenda. Barnes doesn't get that time. Barnes is like he needs to come on and play and win the game, or else he's a numpty. Come off the bench. And Gordon, what do we say about Gordon? Oh, he didn't play for England. His feelings are hurt. Let's give him a little bit of time. Oh, we try to sell him, so his feelings are hurt. Oh, he's the only one that has a Hummer in England. Come on, let him enjoy it. Come on, man.
You got any idea how pathetic you sound?
You can see the agenda right there. You can see the agenda. One gets all the time in the world to be better, to become to all the time to get back in shape, and the other one, no, put him back on the bench. He needs to be a sub. He's a great sub. Let him come off the bench No, I just don't agree with it. If one gets time, all needs to get time. When we bought Barnes, people were extremely excited about Barnes. We forget about that too. How
No,
everybody
no.
said it was a great signing along with Tonali.
Well, he was the second choice, wasn't he, after Madison?
Who's better, Madison or Barnes?
Oh, Madison by a million mile.
Wow, I forgot you love the glass players like Wilson and Barnes and I'm sorry the other guy. Um, yeah, but we just have different likings, man, on players. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's all
you
it
like
is.
you like the ones that sit on the bench. I don't. Um, Beer biking right there. I can't believe we're discussing Harvey Barnes, who is 10 times the player, of Jacob Murphy, who constantly gets a free ride.
So
That is true, by the way. Now,
That's
the
Beer's Jacob Murphy. Jacob
beer putting his
Murphy
agenda.
agenda.
Beer making sense, but that's a smart move because he's making sense and he puts his agenda
Well,
in
no,
there.
because I agree.
It-
Barnes and Gordon should both start.
okay, then. But you said he's a great impact sub. You said that.
Well, he is a great impact, so
So is Gordon. Then
he's proved it.
Gordon has proved it as well.
When's Gordon proved it?
Just put him on the bench, and when he comes on in the 70th minute, he'll
No,
be
but
the
he
greatest
doesn't.
impact sub
No,
in the
because
world.
Gordon starts.
Yeah, so does Harvey Barnes. Exactly.
Well, he should.
The agenda.
As Pierre says, he's definitely better than Jacob Murphy.
Yeah. Well, Jacob Murphy. I mean, that's who we got. That's why it needs to be Barnes and Gordon starting. But the conversation should never be Barnes needs to be on the bench. Gordon, give him time for his feelings to get right. That should never be the conversation, in my opinion. It should be both need to start, both be given time in their respective position for long periods of time, not switch them 5 minutes later because they don't perform to the likings of Eddie. You need to give these guys time. We need to give these guys time. Gem Stature, are we trying to figure out if Barnes needs to start? I'm not getting the drift out of this combo. Well, we started talking about Alexander Isak, and I don't want to put words in Mighty Wynn's mouth, but he's not exactly uh, too kind of him. And then he started on with Barnes because he was losing the Isak battle out of nowhere. And then,
No, no. Well, I got into Gordon because we were talking salaries. And Gordon is currently the top salary earner at Newcastle.
yeah.
And
Well, going to be.
Isak, who's got a contract that goes till 2028, is we're trying to tie him down to a new one to 2030, and he is rightly going to say, "I want more than Anthony Gordon." That was how we got into the conversation.
Sorry about that. I was doing something on the chat real quick, but well, I don't know why Barnes is always the topic of discussion. It
Well,
shouldn't be.
because he's your love child, you keep bringing
No,
him up.
it makes no sense to discuss him. Stephen Harker is right. Leicester fans were gutted about Barnes and couldn't care less about Madison. That said all to me. That said it all to me. Exactly. Harvey Barnes is actually an army knife. If you don't know what an army knife is, it has a lot of tools in it, and I don't think we've helped him reach his potential yet. We're waiting on Gordon. We paid him. We're like, oh, you'll get better soon. No worries about it. You'll be better soon. Harvey Barnes, we treat him like a numpty. Back to the bench if you don't work. We went. It's you can definitely tell the agenda poor. Thank God that Isak has no competition. Thank God, because if anybody, if we sign anybody medium, oh my God, this channel will be going crazy about Isak being an impact sub. This channel is full of impact sub lovers, man. Like I said, Man City would have the best bench in the world if they put Haaland in there and Foden and Foden sometimes, and De Bruyne and everybody else. Put them on the bench. They'll have the best bench in the world. They won't win a game though. Just wait and see. There's a poll in there, by the way. Should Barnes start on the right for UFC? Yes, of course, over 70%. The American Mag wins again.
Start on the right.
It's unbelievable.
Start on the right.
Just all the discussion, but the American mag wins again, man.
Should Barnes start on the right for NUFC? Absolutely should start on the right. Because you do not take Gordon off the left.
Yeah, or on the left, whatever. But Georgia for Life says, Chris, you haven't mentioned that Gordon.
Hang on. Whoa. That's the poll that you've put up. Should he start on the right?
Yeah, on the right.
Well, okay. Put another one up. Should he start on the left instead of Gordon?
Well, I can't take that one down.
I'm sure you could.
Jordan for Life says, Chris, you haven't mentioned that Gordon has been playing out of position, which makes one hell of a difference. That's perfectly fine. I haven't mentioned it because I'd never once dogged Gordon. When I only debate people that say to not criticize Gordon, they go and criticize everybody else. And you make it as if Gordon has been, prime Ronaldo, CR7. Well, CR7 goes on the left. But you get the point. And everybody else has been numpties running around the pitch. No, he's been playing just about as bad as everybody else. But no, I do agree. He's been out of position. But even Eddie Howe has, because of the way he's putting him on the pitch, agreed, I guess, to that Barnes needs to be on the left and Gordon on the right. He's the one that's done it. So according to it, and Jordan 2 for Life, you're the main one talking about Eddie thinks that way, so Eddie is right, and Eddie knows why. So Eddie knows why. He's put Barnes on the left and Gordon on the right for the majority of times. They both have shared time on the pitch. The one time against Everton, I believe, that they got switched, Barnes went on the right. That took 5 minutes, and then he took everybody off, and just all those changes didn't make sense. So there you go.
TFL, I think what he's saying there is Gordon missed a chance this season. Barnes didn't. That also makes a massive difference. But Barnes has missed 3 good chances this season.
Let's look at the chances. If we're talking about Barnes missing a chance from outside the box, my goodness, just wait and see. He'll score a screamer. Don't worry. But see how we count the chance.
I'm sure he will.
You see how we count the chances for Harvey Barnes, the difficult shots. That's what we say, the shots that he's missed. But when we talk about Gordon, we're talking about sitters. That more than likely.
So was that a sitter on Saturday? Was it?
What? What Saturday?
The one the chance that Gordon missed on Saturday. Was that a sitter?
I don't remember.
When he cut in from the right-hand side, beat his man, got one-on-one with Pickford from a very
I remember
from a very acute angle.
If it's 1-on-1, it's a sitter. It should be a sitter, yeah.
Well,
if it's a 1-on-1 shot,
there you go.
There you go. Exactly. More comments. How knows more than us, and that includes you, Chris. When I mean preseason, not misses. Yeah, that's fine. I can still have my damn opinion. And but based on that argument, Eddie Howe puts Harvey Barnes on the left the majority of the time and Gordon on the right when they're both playing with each other. So he knows best, don't he? He knows best. Anyways, Mighty Win is defeated today, man. That's unbelievable. He doesn't want to bit the bait, man. He's defeated, man. I'm taking it easy on the old man too, man.
Chris, I just sometimes just shake my head.
Yeah, man. Pity. Well, and you're just when you can't win, brother, you're just throwing the towel, man. Throwing the towel. Throw the damn towel.
Sometimes I just can't be bothered to argue with you.
Well, look, and the chat, because look at the votes. Just look at the votes, man. But what?
Get that poll down and say who should start. Put another poll up. Who should start left wing against Brighton?
I just voted for you, man. So you didn't. So you know my love. You got my love.
You're not voting for me. I voted for Barnes should start.
Yeah.
But now put a poll up. Who should start on the left wing?
By the way, Josh.
We're assuming that Isak or Wilson's going to be fit to start in the middle.
By the way, Josh, which is more than likely aligned with your views, just unfortunate, but it is what it is. He says, I said no, but only because I want Gordon on the right. Would you look at that? And Josh is supposed to be your best mate. You guys kumbaya.
That's fine, and Josh
you guys kumbaya.
His opinion.
That's right.
We talked to Gary wants Bonds on the right, where he saw him play brilliantly for West Brom.
And that's why I say that Harvey Barnes is an army knife. He's an army knife. He can shoot on the left with his left. He can shoot with his left. Shoot with his right.
I could tell you a story about a Swiss Army wife, but I won't.
Well, no, because I'm
Not
sure
on
she had a
there
lot of
anyway.
tools. I'm sure she had a lot of tools as well she was using. Let me see more comments here. Is Jonathan Shaw wins. I'm sensing you're pissed off with Chris. He's always pissed off, man.
Yeah, you've got that right, Jonathan.
Hey, listen, and remember, he was pissed off on the quiz night as well. He was losing massive. Lewis, Newcastle fan, definitely more of a fan than Mighty Win. Unfortunate. Jordan, Chris, Harvey Barnes is 1 in 2 games for goals this season. Gordon is penalties. Well, he'll only score 1 goal, Gordon. So in penalty.
Just incidentally, who won the penalties?
What are you talking about? Who won the penalties?
Gordon won the penalty against Tottenham. He got brought down when he was on goal.
Oh, who got the penalty on the play? Yeah. Who missed the penalty too? What happened with he scored another penalty too, right? Against Everton?
No, he missed the penalty again.
Oh, he missed. Oh, damn. Sorry, I brought that up. I didn't mean to. I thought he scored, man. My bad. All right. So, and that's why we got little short arms bantering us and everything.
That's why we drew 0-0, Chris.
Yeah, we drew.
Because if he'd scored, it wouldn't have been 0-0, would it?
Yeah, man. It's unfortunate. I thought he missed it, man. I was gonna give him another 200, 250 a week, man, if he made that penalty, but he didn't. But he got that penalty too, didn't he? Or did he not? He did. He
did. No,
He
he
did,
didn't. Tonali got dragged down for that one.
Oh yeah, no, that was.
Well, he took the corner. If that's what you want to mean.
Well, that could be too. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna Mighty Win, man. Then people tell me about elder abuse and all that stuff. We need to pick easy topics, man. Because I'm undefeated, by the way. I'm like Money Mayweather, man. I'm dodging hands left and right. I'm undefeated. So we're gonna have to pick a good topic, an easy topic for the Mighty Win next one. Because it's kind of boring winning every time, man.
I didn't even realize we're having a contest.
No, we're not really though. We're not
what's
really.
What's the contest? Which
contest
are you winning?
We're not really though. Just every time we have a.
Is this a contest about is Gordon
No.
Is this a contest about is Gordon worth 180 grand a week?
No, not. You lost that one. That's a fact. But you got your wishes though, because you got your wishes because the club is going to give him the highest paid title.
They've already given him it.
Well, he hasn't signed yet. It's not official. So, okay, you got sources telling you that he's signed?
Newcastle have said he's signed.
Where?
Beginning of last week.
Anybody give me right now a link on the WhatsApp group where Newcastle United Football Club has made it official that Anthony Gordon is assigned. He's signed a contract for the next whatever. I'm sure they're giving him 15 years. So please, where's it official at? And we are going to, by the way, talk about this was the original topic about Americans taking over the league, taking over the Premier League, etc. It was the original topic, and then, of course, we got this Isak news. We'll have to see what happens, and we'll keep on keeping a watch on what's going on there. But we got to talk about this Americans taking over the Premier League, and people are mad about it. People are like, some people. I think it was PDK that told me in the chat. No offense, Chris, and Steve McCullough, who is American as well, says I'm so offended. Like what? And by the way, we can't have it both ways, folks. The same way is wrong to say that PIF shouldn't be buying any team or that they are sports watching or that we need to implement rules because of PIF, because of Saudi are taking over. The same way we're thinking that that's wrong and borderline xenophobic, not borderline xenophobic by literally just putting Gulf region investors or whatever.
Companies are companies based in the Gulf region.
Yeah. The same way as that's xenophobic is the same thing when you say or people say, "Oh, these Americans are taking over our league. Who are they to come on and buy clubs?" It's the same damn thing. Why do owners have anything to do with it's UK folks? You need to get some rich people. Apparently, you ain't got none. None that give a damn about football. So I will say the vast majority are American, but what does that have to do with anything? You know. By the way, somebody mentioned that what is Sheffield United's? I believe it was Sheffield United's owners that they're American. I think they just want to win the argument because the guy is American, but he was born in Pakistan. So we can certainly say that you can pick your poison on that one. Actually, it was not Sheffield United, Fulham's owner. His name is Shahid Rafiq Shad. People say he's one of the American owners. Come on, man. The dude born in Pakistan. He's American though, just like me, Peruvian and Pakistani. But hold on, Mighty Wayne. We're gonna put that on there. Let me see. Which I do got the list as well, but let me sort this out real quick. What are you sharing there? You sharing the owners?
That's the ownership.
All right, so you're gonna have to zoom in though. So what you got going on there, mate?
And this is the ownership. Why is that not coming over there? Why can you not see the left-hand side? Well, anyway, the color scheme here. The green is the Gulf. Orange is USA. Blue's UK. That the one you can just see the back of there. That's Greece.
Yeah.
So you've actually got now you've got things like Crystal Palace, which is a USA UK consortium. That's 74-26 in favour of the USA. Aston Villa, USA Egypt, which is kind of Gulf, but
That's both of both worlds right there, man. So
that's
that's definitely an evil club because they got Americans and golf. My God.
right. Well, that'll be an interesting uh, power
Yeah.
power play because
Or maybe
USA
they'll or,
USA are 60-40 in that one.
or maybe they'll get the best of both worlds, which is
Yeah,
get the capital from the Middle East and in the good Premier League red cartel rules from the US side.
but the overall thing to look at is that Newcastle's
You can't really see column A though. I don't know if can you
me
let
move
me try.
bar is not.
I'm trying to see. Oh no.
Hang on, if I put it to there, is that better?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's certainly better.
And then if we come back across, there you go. Can you see that?
Wait, we can kind of see it. I do have the list as well. But let me see. Give me sports. Which we got obviously Newcastle United are the
Well,
richest club.
what prompted us to do this was that was in the forum. Somebody
Yeah,
put something up.
I wasn't using that one.
So I tried to find out what the source of that was and couldn't. So I thought, right, I'll do my own research, and that's what I came up with. And the figures are completely different to what's in that table, but it still shows
Mm-hmm.
that you've got a good few, coming in. Even Ipswich Town coming in with a £69 million owners. I can show you, for example, who these owners are. So That's for Ipswich. It's a company called Game Changer 20, who manage investment funds. It's an American company who manage investment funds. And then going up through them all, you can see that, for example, Man United, or obviously majority is the Glazer family, but 27%
Ineos.
UK, which is what's
Yeah.
his face?
Which I still though, but the point of the matter is, why does it matter where they're from? Why is this thought that Americans are taking over the English Premier League? What is America?
Well,
Is this
because all of these rules are being introduced to prevent those top two clubs.
Yeah, but those rules are about the clubs in particular, not because Americans have these rules that they're bringing into our sport, our league, which is not what they're just trying to do is I don't they're just trying to benefit themselves. But regardless of being American or not, you don't think that what's his name Ratcliffe wants these rules for Manchester United? You think he wants a freedom for everybody to
No,
invest
of course they don't, because they want to retain their positions.
Exactly. So I still don't get the. No, I'm not talking about you in particular. I'm talking about anybody that thinks, oh shoot, that thinks
Well,
America.
they've got 10 clubs there now already that they have the voting. Any Premiership meeting that they go to, they've got 10 in their hand straight away. So if they
Yeah,
want to prevent clubs putting more in than they're prepared to put in themselves, bear in mind all of these American investors are businessmen. So they want to get as much out of the club for the least amount put into the club,
of course.
right? So
But
they've been going along very cosily for years now, decades now, without anybody challenging them,
hmm
and they've been able to get away with look at Old Trafford falling to bits without they haven't been spending any money, and they've been raking in billions.
but
Now
if
all
we
of a sudden Abramovich comes along and he says, right, I'm not playing by your rules. I'm going to pay top dollar to the players. I'm going to pay top dollar in transfer fees, and I'm going to win the league. And he did that. And then Man City came along. So incidentally, this was when, from getting two clubs, well, originally it was one club in the Champions League, and then they said, well, this is a bit rough, this fellas. Let's lobby for two clubs in the Champions League. Then at least two of us are getting in. This was Arsenal, Man U, Liverpool, and to a lesser degree Spurs, when they were the big four. So, well, that's okay. Let's get five in. Let's get four in. Sorry. So then, at least one of us going to get Europa, and one will win the cup, get the cup winners' cup. And then it became four. So then, all of a sudden, they're now, because the competition at the top's that hot. No, well, right, we'll lobby UEFA. We'll get five in the Champions League. We'll play along by their rules, make it the best club, but we're nowhere going to be further than anybody else anyway. So by rights, last year being a big anomaly, England didn't have the highest coefficient, so we still only get four this year, but Italy get five. And so next year, you'll assume that we'll get five. But then all of a sudden, another two come along, Newcastle and Aston Villa. They say, whoa, hey man, we might not even get into Europe.
but
Which would have happened with Man U, of course, if they hadn't won the cup against all odds. If Man City hadn't gone out on the piss.
But see, this is the thing though, because everything you're talking about is right, but it's not because Americans are owning the clubs. It's because those specific teams want it to be that way.
It's because those specific teams are
Or
run by American.
yeah, but you think, look, man, the Gronkies could I'm sorry, Arsenal fans. Couldn't give a shit what Arsenal does as far as the club is concerned. They care about their investment and their money. It's
Yeah,
their club. It's their puppy.
Stan
They don't
Kroenke
give.
for
They
years
don't.
has got away with spending coppers.
They don't give a shit about no damn what they do with the rules and all that crap, man.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
he does. As long as he's getting in the Champions League, he's happy.
Yeah. So, and by the way, we're talking about all these Americans owning teams and not and only caring about money and not, which to a certain extent I do agree. But I mean, Arsenal is competing for the league. Manchester United is always in the Champions League. And now, is that enough for their fans? Probably not. Probably
Yeah.
not.
But
But the fact, but hold on,
the
though.
big bucks comes from the Champions League.
Yeah, that's fine.
The
But they are in the
big
Champions League
bucks.
or in Europe
The
for the
icing
most
on the
part.
cake, the creme de la creme.
Yeah, but
And
it's
all of a sudden, they're not getting in it.
but they're not. I just don't see this because they are American. All of us, it just happens to be that they're owned by American teams. But what about the other ones that not even, not even in mid table?
Yeah, but
What about those?
they
What
aren't
about
used. They
what
aren't
about
used to being in the Champions League.
what about Aston Villa?
They're
Do
not
they
used to being in the Champions League.
exactly? So, but you those teams, Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham. What about Tottenham? They're not owned by Americans. Liverpool.
No, they're just badly run.
Exactly. What about
Except they're not
Liverpool?
badly run from a business point of view. Spurs are very, very well run.
I think, yeah, that's fine from the business standpoint. But what I'm saying is, I think that they are trying to stop us because of every reason you've said.
The trouble
However,
is, Spurs
it's
Spurs
not
were
because
tolerated. Spurs were tolerated because they never won out. They've never won out for 20 years.
yeah. But my thinking is, I think they want to implement those rules, keep those rules. That's why they did all that because simply they want to be on. They don't want another team to come out and be like a Man City. That's the reason, not because all of a sudden they were born in America and all that. No, possibly the Tottenham chairman.
No.
It could have been the
Right,
Tottenham
okay,
chairman
okay. Let's accept that.
on behalf of 10 teams was the email. All the 10 teams are the American owned.
Well, isn't it funny how there's 10 teams American owned?
Well, there you go. So it would be a specific the specific number. What about again? Let me say point. What about Ineos? What about all? It just to put in we're doing the same thing that we don't like being done to us, which is because we're owned by Saudi. All of a sudden, there's a stigma behind it. If we don't like that, then we shouldn't promote that on anybody else. It should be a fair ground for people to spend whatever the hell they want. They done to us, so we can't do unto them what we don't want to be done unto us. Man, that sounds like a preacher. But I'm just saying. Now, if you look
What
at the
I'm
chat,
saying
though,
is, it's perfectly understandable. It's self-preservation, and if you've got a situation
but so
where
if
you've got a situation where you've got a bunch of business guys who all presumably float around in the same high circles in America, they come together and they say, listen, how are we going to ensure that we stay at the top table? What can we do to ensure that happens? And that's what they've done. They've said, right, we'll start with the Premiership rules.
I don't think I just don't see this.
Well, you've got a vested interest because you're American.
No, not really. Well, maybe so, and maybe you have an investor interest because you're English. So we shouldn't have this conversation. No,
I've got a vested interest because I want Newcastle to be able to compete at the top, and I want Saudi Arabia to be able to put as much money as they want into the club.
Well, I got the same idea, and just because I keep my convictions very clear, and if I found it offensive that they said we got to stop more or less these people from the Gulf region, then I can't say now we got to stop these these Yanks from taking up from because they're trying to take over our league or whatever. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So
it's perfectly understandable.
Well, it's perfectly understandable for Man United
for American owners to want to introduce to the Premier League the kind of sporting, I don't know, schematic, for want of a better word, that professional sports operates under in America. And the key point about America is no promotion relegation.
That's never going to happen though. It's almost.
But that's effectively what Champions League qualification is. It's kind of a promotion, right? You either make the playoffs or you don't.
Yeah, but well, I mean, if you're reaching for it, you're gonna find something. So I guess yeah, you have a point. But to me, I just don't see it being substantial. To be honest, I think Arsenal are doing their thing. They have major deals. They are hypocrites because they got Emirates too.
But the biggest sponsor they've got is from the Middle East.
So but they bringing all that money, man. I understand Champions League money is not.
There's the thing. Wouldn't it be great if somebody went to UAE and said, "Hey, are you seeing this? The Premier League, what they're saying about Gulf region companies?" And if Emirates pulled the plug on Arsenal,
But it could be, just I don't know, man. I feel like it's reaching, and we like to say, well, Shahid Khan is another American. Dude's born in Pakistan, man. Let's stop playing.
he's lived all his life in America.
He was born in Pakistan in Pakistanian. So you tell me,
right?
Come on, man.
Whoa.
We're just reaching a little bit too much, man.
No, yeah, right. Shahid Khan. Because I've done all this morning. I've been right.
Dude, I got it pulled up right here. He was born in 1950 in Lahore, Punjab, Pakistan.
Right. And when did he come to America?
Dude, I'm saying he's American too, but geez,
right.
Man. I mean,
this is how American he is, right?
Pakistani, sorry, Beer Viking.
This is how American Khan is. He owns the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL.
He's a rich fucker. He's going to own a million things. Tell me what Ineos owns a team in France, but we don't like to talk about that.
I don't mind talking about that.
Exactly, because it doesn't fit our agenda. It's not about nationality, brother. It's about it's about right and wrong.
He's just got one NFL team according to this.
Hey,
but
let me tell you something.
If you go through the rest of them, who are the owners?
Hold on. They'll have their thing going. Georgia for life. Chris, you call yourself American and not born in America. I was born in Peru, so I would technically be Peruvian. However, I've served the United States Army in this country. I'm a U.S. citizen obviously in this country, so I'm a goddamn American. You better fucking believe it. So there you go. GTFL shots fired, but it backfired to say the least. But so you found it right there. You're in the wrong. You found something you don't want to see. A lot of these guys are not even like.
No. I'm just trying to find. When I was looking this afternoon, there are, I would say collectively, there's about 30 professional American clubs owned by the same owners that are running the Premiership clubs.
Nobody, and by the way,
I'm not talking about Tuppence Halfpenny clubs. I'm talking about, massive NFL franchises. I'm talking about massive baseball franchises and various. I mean, there's one guy. He's got the Colorado. He's got the Colorado NBA team. He's got the lacrosse team. He's got that. Yeah, he's got the gaming team.
Man, that's what investors do. What is the surprise in all this? They buy shit, man.
Yeah,
to get richer.
Because the reason NFL ownership
again we go into
is so prized is because it is a license to print money. Because there's no relegation, no promotion. You're virtually guaranteed the same income every year.
Yeah,
you've got the draft system, so you don't have to, outbid people for the best players. All that sort of thing. So that's what they want. They come over here and they think, "Fucking hell, this is like the Wild West here. We can't do what we like. This wasn't what was."
That's not. If you really think that's how people think, man, come on, man. They make their money, bro. They make their money. One way or the other, they make their money off Arsenal, and they got away with it just barely buying any players for a long time. Now they get players. Now Arsenal are an elite club in the world. They're fighting for titles. It's not. The Gronkies are not saying, "Oh my God, we need to change these rules because we just can't." It's a combined. Those clubs don't want a new Man City. Simple as that. And that's why they got all these rules implemented. And possibly they hate the Gulf region. That how I'm assuming there's got to be something like that along those lines. It takes me a while for me to say
because
something like that.
they're used to being the big fish in the pool, and now they're not the big fish in the pool.
Man, we can't. What are you talking about? They're not the big fish in the pool. Oh, as far as who can back, yeah, only Newcastle has them beat though. Only Newcastle by a long shot. Nobody talks about Sheffield United by the way.
Newcastle and Man City.
But why didn't they implement these rules for Sheffield United? They're owned by Saudi and they have a lot of money.
Sheffield United aren't in the Prem.
Well, I mean, last season they were still talking about.
You're looking at the out-of-date table.
No, I'm not looking at the out of table. Regardless, they were bought by Saudi. They were in the Premier League last season. So why don't they worry about them? Because they know that Sheffield United can't do nothing. They can't attract anybody. They can't do any of that. They worry about Newcastle. And Sheffield United is owned by Saudi. So they have a lot of money. They don't have as much money as Saudi, but they still, if they were Newcastle, if we were bought by whoever bought Sheffield, we would still have a lot of money to be able to attract top players. We would still be able to do that with Sheffield United's owners. And any owner for that matter, to be honest. Even if the Gronkies were to buy us, I don't think it's illegal now, but if they were to get us, we would still be in a better position than with Mike Ashley, probably. More than likely. Actually, yes. But the fact that Saudi Arabia, the prince of Saudi Arabia, has bought the club, that just takes it to a whole nother level because it's a fact. If they let Newcastle spend, it is over for them. They're going to have a top 7 now. That's the way it's going to be. But I just don't see when I look at somebody, I look past nationality, man. I don't see this is dudes. You guys get into that stuff a lot. You guys say a lot of stuff in social media about new American fans. Is a lot of xenophobia going on there. I'm just saying, as far as Newcastle is concerned, we cannot complain about these idiots speaking to us the way they do if we're gonna do the same thing.
So here we go.
That's all I'm saying.
Abdullah bin Musaid, Sheffield United's owner, estimated combined net worth 200 million, as opposed to 300 billion.
Yeah, no, I ain't. 300 million.
He's a pimple even in Ted Bowley's.
That's fine. That's fine, but he can still get. If it was Newcastle, he could still get players. It would still be. It wouldn't be a broke dude owning a club, man.
No, what? Well, he is a broke dude compared to the rest.
Yeah, compared to us, everybody's broke.
No, compared to the rest of the Premiership owners.
Come on, man. It's not about the nationality, man. It's about the simple fact that they don't want another club there. Simple as that. They're not going to bring relegation or cancel relegation or eliminate relegation. Stop hallucinating. A lot of English folks, man, you guys are just everything is against you, man.
Sheffield United would be one pip above Ipswich Town. Ipswich Town owners 92 million. Sheffield United 200 million. Matthew Benham, who is Brentford's owner, comes in next, and he's 280 million. So Matthew Benham is a richer person than Sheffield United's Saudi owner.
What about Tony Bloom?
Tony Bloom
why has nobody given a shit about him?
1.3 billion.
The only time they only care about us, man. Don't you understand this? They don't care about Tony Bloom having money and bringing in, because these clubs that like Brighton, like Sheffield United, like all these clubs. So PIF could have bought Sheffield. Do you think they would have changed the rules for Sheffield? No, they changed the rules because PIF was smart enough to buy a deprived big club in the Premier League.
They would have changed the rules for
No,
Sheffield.
they wouldn't have, because Sheffield is not attracting you to play for them. That's why they're not going to get nobody to
What-
play for them, man.
The only thing that attracts players to play for you is money.
Yeah, that
And
too.
if you pay
But
them the salary, they
with
will
the with
come and play for you. Don't worry about that.
Mbappe's not coming. Mbappe's not coming to Sheffield, man.
if
Stop
you are
playing.
paying the selling club 20 million more than I'm paying, you're going to get the player, and
I'll
you
put
pay
my
the player more.
I will put all
But
my
he
money
didn't
on the
have the
line.
money to do it.
I'll put all my money on the line. Mbappe will never. Messi would have never played for Sheffield United. Ronaldo would have never played for Sheffield. I don't care how much money they get paid, because heritage still has a way on where players play. Let me tell you this: PIF saw a deprived big club in the Premier League, the ninth most successful club in English football. Whether you like to admit it or not, it is a fact. They bought it
Whether
and
I
they
like to
said,
admit it, I like to brag about it.
and they saw it and they were like, you know what, this is it. Don't look anywhere else. They got sent away and they were like, damn it, I want to buy this club. They came back around again after they paid how much billions to the Premier League to sort that piracy out.
They paid 1 billion to be in.
They didn't give a damn because they wanted to get that deal done, because they know you compare Newcastle with its history in English football, with its fans, with all of that involved in what they mean in the Premier League. On top of that, you add money to it, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And that's why they were scared of it. The Premier League, the FA, man, more than anything. And these top clubs that didn't want any competition, any extra competition to their already pyramid. So that's what it is. It's not about English, but stop dividing people, man. Love each other, hug each other. Americans, English folks, kumbaya, hanging, just grabbing hands and running amongst the fields of full of dandelions. Come on, man. Stop putting nationality into this. I'm telling you, man. That's the way it goes. And nobody's bringing no NFL rules. None of that stuff would work here anyway. It wouldn't. It just simply wouldn't. You just can't. People need to stop hallucinating on they're going to bring this because they got who the hell is going to pass that? Nobody. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't just involve Premier League. People know that, right? Everybody else football below the Premier League. You can't. It affects. It's almost like
Where did Hawkeye start?
it's like somebody saying, you know what, Windsor Castle, this is my castle now. Everybody get the hell out. It can't happen. It will not happen, man. It's like you. Well, I don't know if it's you because I actually quote you a lot. I actually quote Mighty Win 100%. He just switches it as soon as I do it. But no, I think you were with me when it said that the UK government could take the royals' heritage as far as their houses, castles, and stuff like that, and or but I was like, that's nonsense. It belongs to them. You just can't do it, man. You just can't do it. No relegation. Oh my God, no relegation. It just got shut the hell up, man. There's nobody's gonna put no relegation in the Premier League. It would be boring to watch. Nobody will watch it. We're trying to.
Ball lane technology.
What is wrong with that?
VAR.
What is wrong? No, VAR is FIFA, man. Get out of here.
Where was VAR first seen?
VAR is FIFA. VAR is FIFA, man.
Where was VAR first seen? Where was ball lane technology first seen?
Hold on.
Notice the way they're doing the clock now. By the way, I'm all in favor of a stop clock. That's a whole different show.
Colin Connor, adverts every 5 minutes. Are you getting adverts every 5 minutes? Let me know, man, because we're trying to sort that out. I don't know if that's what you're saying.
Unless, I think you might be on about that in American sport.
Oh, Cards Gaming right here talking about rugby. I don't know what you're meaning really, but I'm sure they have different rules. It's a UK sport, and I'm sure they have timeouts. Like it's kind of similar to football. It's kind of similar. I know people will say no, it's a grown man's game. No, well, whatever. Regardless, so it's a different sport, man. And sometimes new things are for the better.
Connor there saying tennis. He's on because I said where did Hawkeye start? Tennis, yeah, it did. That was it was trialed at Wimbledon without ever being used. The technology was trialed. It was first used in the US Open.
But I think that
when they'd done it for a couple of years, that it came to Wimbledon.
VAR it's a tough one.
I love VAR.
But you
Love it.
can't say you love it if you're talking about
No.
these
I think if we're
These
gonna,
Americans.
no. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with American sport.
But yeah, but you're saying these Americans are taking over English football now. So
No, what I'm saying is, I would love the American VAR system to be introduced here, where a team coach has 2 challenges.
that yeah, well,
I would love that to be
but you're gonna
introduced
have people
here.
saying, "Nah, this is American, man." That's just
And
blah,
then,
blah.
and then, if the referee is then proven to be wrong subsequently, and one of the coaches hasn't challenged it, that's their fault. Whoa, if you think it was so bad and so obvious, why didn't you challenge it?
Let me tell you something, man. I think this whole topic, and this will continue. You guys don't get over it, man. You guys need to get over it, Mighty Win.
Get over what?
You know what, man. You got all of you guys in the chat. You know what you need to get over, man. 249.
249.
249 years ago, you took a loss, man, and you can't get over it, man. Anything American, you just say, it's blah, blah, blah. You're still butthurt about that one, man.
You can't even do your sums, or you don't know your American history.
Well, it actually started in April 19th, 1775, the Independence Revolution. So thank you very much. I'm 100.
Independence. 1776.
The American Revolutionary started in 75.
1776.
We started 75. That's where it started. April 1975.
Independence 76.
Yeah, but we started beating your ass in 75. You almost had us though, but you had a numpty king. Come on, man. Come on, Chris. You're our ancestors. We are cousins. Yeah, man. We'll have to fix that English language because you guys had all fucked up, man.
Well, you get on your sidewalks.
Thee, and talking like Bridgerton over here, man. Come on. Talk proper. Come on, guys. Let's go play soccer. Mighty Win, smile, man. What's wrong with you? Smile, brother. Hell's actually that was won in 1815 by the Brits. Know your own history, Chris. That was a crap attempt. No, hey, you guys didn't come back around. I tell you what, you got in that ship, made a U-turn, right back to your little island, man.
In 1840, I took a little trip down the Mississippi.
No, listen. I look. Some rules I don't like certain technology. I don't. And to be honest, VAR has me on the edge sometimes because I'm like, especially when it's not implemented. And that's the problem. We try to perfect the game.
That's what the challenge gets rid of that.
Yeah,
because if it's not implemented, for a start, it stops how many times the game's stopped.
Hey, this is amazing. Michael Coyle says, not sure if this helps, but I'm logged into YouTube and haven't had an advert yet, which we did fix that, but I've never seen you, Michael Coyle, so welcome, mate. I did have a Coyle friend in the Army.
I think probably the 5-second advert thing was reference to American sport, where they keep on.
I did have a Chloe Coyle used to be her name, a private. She was in my platoon. Hope you're doing well. I think she got married and everything. But yeah, back in the day when I was in the Army, man, Jordy Tune for life. Don't play with me. I'm American 100% of the time. 100%, baby. American. I got my blue passport to prove it, baby, with the American flag inside of it. But no, certain rules don't make sense. It don't make sense. But look, we're trying to. People need to understand this when they implement rules. This is an imperfect game, and that's what made it the most popular sport currently, the best, most popular sport in the history of civilization. Because it's imperfect. And when they try to perfect it with VAR, sometimes they apply the rules, sometimes they don't. You know why? Because it's run by humans. And every time you run it by humans, mistakes will happen. Room for conspiracy will be there. And that's why I think the goal line with the ball, you can't get, it's in or out. It's a fact. So I'm all for that. The eye thing that you were talking about, that is tough because sometimes they draw the line a little bit crooked, and they try to tell you, well, perspective, my ass, man. What the hell is that? the stripes on the pitch, if they're straight, the offside line should be parallel to that, not fixed to whatever they want to show. So again, humans running the game from the computers, it just sometimes it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work like that. But but the people were mentioning. We can go to some star comments here that people were bringing up. Somebody was saying about the half. Oh, hell, Cesar, Chris, do you not find it interesting that the FA want to introduce American style halftime interviews? I would like to know where that random idea came from. But there's a thing here. How do you know that American? To me, that's what they try to think about it. American owners have billion people working for them. They have to worry about their business, and they're going to be like, you know what? Let me bother the FA. Tell them I want these American rules on there. They could give a shit about it, man. Or the problem is
I
within
think
the
you're
FA.
very naive if you think that.
No. Or it could be the FA that's saying, or you could also say the American guys want to make money at halftime, more money, whatever. Or you can also say the English guys want to make money at halftime and put interviews and put it, whatever they do in American sports sometimes, But putting nationality makes no sense. You either like the rule or you don't like the rule, or like the change or you don't like the change. Halftime interviews. I mean, and they do it in basketball for 30 seconds, man. It's not going to affect anybody. Would fans not like to hear Eddie Howe at halftime say, when we're having a commentary and you don't know what the hell he's trying to do? Wouldn't it be nice to hear Eddie Howe say, you know what? Yeah, we're trying to do this. We're being defensive. We're trying to be more proactive. We got to kick it to our wings. 30 seconds is up. Let's go. How is that hurt in the game? If that were to come about, tell me, Mighty Win. You were as old as those Lee's Park buildings. So tell me. How is that a bad thing?
I think it'd be a total waste of time. Do you think Eddie's going to turn around, or any manager's going to turn around and say, "Oh well, what we're doing is not working. So what I'm going to do in the second half is
no,
this."
But they don't do that though. But it doesn't really. To be honest, it doesn't even make a difference. It just doesn't matter to me. So that's why I don't care for it. But whoever's trying to implement it, I don't know. I don't know what the reason behind it would be. They say they need to do something to where they put like commercials in every. They're trying to. This is what they said. So there's a lot of games in the game. There's a lot of games in the year. So to help that out, they would pause the game every so often, and because they're trying to help the player get rest. But what they would do is just throw in an advert right there, and so I think that would be bollocks. I think that would be shit. You can't do that. You can't do that on football. That's why certain rules will never work on this game. That's a beautiful game because it's imperfect.
60-minute stop clock would work.
But see, right there, you have an English twat telling you what he wants to do. 60 minutes on that. So get on to him, Jordan 2 for life. Tell him how he is American now, or he's not American. So it doesn't matter. It's not about nationality, man. It's about the people trying to implement these numpty rules. You want 60 minutes for what?
30 minutes ball in play each half.
Wait,
so when
what?
when the ball goes dead, the clock stops.
Oh, so I don't have an issue with that because that would
stops all the time wasting.
It stops all the time wasting.
About it, everything to do
But
with it.
But
right now, we're getting about for the last 15 years now. Ball in play time in Premier League matches varies between the lowest ever, which was 53, and the highest ever, which was 60.5 minutes. That's what we are getting for 90 minutes. That's what we are getting ball in play right now.
Yeah.
And I just think if you let's have a stop clock. The ball goes dead, clock stops, and it doesn't start again until the throw-in's taken, the free kick's taken, whatever.
Yeah.
And the crowd can all see it.
Well, Jersey for life right there. Win change is not always for the best. Keep football the way it's bad. over 200 years, behave yourself, win. Exactly. So
No. I'm a
what you know,
firm.
some rules might be like again.
Listen, we've been going to do a special on this. So any Geordie tune for life. I'll take you. You get yourself on here, and me and
You
you
won't
will have
come
a
on, man.
debate about what you think's wrong with the idea of a 60-minute stop clock, 30 minutes each off.
Nah, nah, all of that. I'm not even understanding. Just simple, man. If the ball goes out of bounds, just if it's substantial, not just for a throw-in, unless the dude is taking a long time or something,
It
like
was
for
the
an
East
injury,
India Tea Company, Stephen.
then you stop the clock. If somebody goes down injured, put the pause button right there, man. It's not even. Why does it have to be an American thing? It just pause the damn. It will actually help the teams that are trying to play and not waste time. Now, granted, if we're winning and trying to waste time, then it won't work for us. But
Tangy Vivid there saying 60 minutes too low, make a 90-minute stop clock. How about that?
well, there you
Well,
go.
except that we know if it was 90 minutes ball in play, the games would take hour and a half, another 45, 2 hours, 15 minutes. If you're happy with that, I'm happy to go with 90 minutes ball in play. You'd see the players get knackered an awful lot more. We are knackered.
Boy, we haven't used the soundboard in a minute, man. We got to use that.
Love it. Who's the twat?
Banani. There you go. We haven't used the soundboard. But look, anyways, we had a great discussion, great banter, great conversations. That's what we're here for. Just basically in a virtual pub, having a conversation of all things football and especially Newcastle United related. But it is what it is. We'll definitely have to have a special on new rules and VAR and all that stuff. But Beer Bike and Callum Wilson couldn't do 90 minutes in play. His legs would be jelly. Yeah. He will definitely take the break. But come on, man.
Nobody could do 90 minutes.
All right. Let me just sift over the comments right there. James Cuff says the Leases Park buildings aren't that old, are they, Chris? When I was comparing them to you. There you go. Foxy, let's be honest. We are already hearing American owners say some Premier League games should be played in the U.S., which is pretty outrageous in itself. What's next? All-Star Game, American shootouts, Super League. Well, the Super League is not American, man. You got Florentino Perez in charge of the greatest club in the history of football, wanting and leading that with the other biggest club in the world, Barcelona, Juventus, the biggest entities in football heritage are wanting this. Yeah. So
and you know why? And you know why they want it?
Because they don't want little teams like to compete, or they don't want to go to Latvia to play a Champions League game with what to them is a worthless team that makes them money and not you, really, because you're going to Latvia.
But they want it because in their own domestic league, they ain't got no competition, and they ain't got the drawing power for the world.
You have dropped the ball on that one, man.
Well,
Real Madrid will play anywhere in the world.
Forget about Real Madrid. I'm saying the reason Real Madrid want the Super League is because they can't make enough money in La Liga because nobody wants to watch La Liga.
They make it. You don't want to watch La Liga, not the rest of the world. Hispanic countries, Latin American countries watch La Liga. That's all they watch.
By comparison to the Premier League,
they make a lot of money, man. The Super League. What? So why do Premier League teams want to join the Super League? The Super League then?
Because they by joining the Super League, they preserve their status.
Come on, man. But you're making this. Those leagues are worthless, but the Premier League is. So why do those teams want to leave?
The TV rates prove that.
Yeah, that's they get their money, bro. Don't worry. They get their money. And so we're going to comments. But then he's saying Foxy about the games in the United States. I don't agree with that. I think that's stupid. Makes no sense, to be honest. But the FA wants to do that. The London mayor, whatever his name is, he came out and said, I think it would be a good idea. The Mighty Win, who is as old as dirt, he wants that. And he doesn't only want the Mighty Win, doesn't only want America games to be played in America. He wants a Premier League game to be played all over the world. All over the world. The Mighty Win. So stop Americanizing everything, man. Literally. That's my answer to your stop Americanizing.
La Liga.
It's
La Liga TV rights. A 5-year deal for 4.95, less than 5 million euros.
mate, Real Madrid doesn't
5
pay
billion, 5 billion euros, sorry. That's
exactly.
a 5-year deal. So that's €1 billion a year. The Premiership gets 5 billion euros a year. Well, it gets 6.5, £5 billion a year.
So what's the difference?
Well, we get as much in 1 year as they're getting 5 years.
But that's not the reason why they. I'm sure it
So
could be money.
we pay we pay the relegated club 100 million a year from the TV rates.
Tenji Baby, he isn't British. The London mayor, he hates Britain. Well, yeah, that's another topic for another show. But to the point is, it's not that Americans are crawling in and telling, let's change the rules. No, you guys are doing it, and you guys will have to take on it. And because it makes the FA money, by the way, that's what people care about, the money, man. It's not about.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money. It's not about American English, Indian. It's about the money. And the Premier League will. Why did they come here to do the Premier League mornings? Which is great, by the way.
When the USA cartel
Oh my God.
can think if they think they could get together and prevent their little cozy shop being overturned by these upstarts from the Gulf region. That's exactly what it's about.
They just need. Well, you know what they need to do? They need to let Saudi Arabia clubs come in here and play the Champions League that they wanted to last season. They get all the money in the world. That's what they said. Those teams, let them play in the Champions League, become elite with their so-called elite players that they get.
Yeah, well, I would do that, but I would say that you don't do both. You don't.
You can't do, but you can't do that, man.
You don't play in the Premier League and in Super
Mighty
League.
Mighty Win is a woke football fan, man. I'm telling you, he wants all changes. He wants this. He wants the Saudi to play here. He wants just can't stand it, man. How can you want those many changes? You want American English teams to go up play in China, in Australia, in America for one. You said that.
Huh?
One game.
Good, do it, but you don't play in the Prem.
Yeah, but you said a Premier League match day should be played.
I wouldn't be averse to match day 39 with the game played overseas somewhere. I wouldn't be against that at all.
Yeah, and Tenji, baby, you're right. They don't like us. They don't like us because now I could agree with that. They don't like us because of political thing or a race thing. I'm very careful when I talk about race because I don't think anything is racial as people tend to make it these times. But it's written right there on the email. If it comes from the Gulf, we don't want it. So you can say it is xenophobic, and they don't want Saudi. That's why. But they also nobody talks about Sheffield United. They talk about Newcastle because they know Newcastle has the potential to be a beast. That's why.
Sheffield United is a pygmy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And Sadiq Khan is British. He's born. Yeah. But I think they were talking about more his views and everything else. So, and we're not going to get into that stuff. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Tomorrow, Hoof the Twat, and also at midday, The Breakfast Show with Gary and the Mighty Win. They'll have a good, canny, soft discussion, unlike when I'm involved. Because when I'm involved, baby, I'm right to it. I don't waste no time. Right to the bone, baby. That's the American mag way. That's the American way, baby. We get right to it. No BSing around, mate. Anyways, Mighty Win, I love you, man. You're like my great-grandfather, man. I'm telling you. You're like great.
I love you like a wart.
Oh, man. Anyways, tomorrow, Fragrance Show. Mighty Win, they haven't asked you to do the fragrance segment, man. Yeah, the last one you did was just not a good one, was it?
The what?
Fragrance segment on the yeah. But anyways, it's been a lovely canny show, as they would say in Geordie land. And
then Thursday we'll be back for the match preview. And don't forget, lads, get your Brighton predictions in on the WhatsApp chat.
That's right. Oh, don't forget about extra time as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 2 a.m. UK if you're up and about. And in the United States, Gem Stature, you should be on that show, man. Stop playing.
Which
That's
is
8 p.m.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, by the way.
What?
The extra time show, UK.
Oh,
time
for the UK,
Tuesday,
UK.
Thursday,
It'll
Saturday.
be exactly, yeah. For the
2
United
a.m.
States, it would be 8 p.m. So Gem Stature, you should be on that one. All of you guys should be on that one. Peru plays tonight. Yes, Foxy, against Brazil. Peru against Bruno Guimaraes. And they do stream it in England.
Oh, what time
By the way,
that?
that's going to be like close to 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or something like that.
Oh,
They do stream it. They do stream it. They do stream it in England if you want to watch Peru and Bruno play. I had it right here in England, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get that up.
No, but I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you where you go because they don't usually.
It's normally 1:30, I think.
It's in Premier Sports 1, Premier Sports Player, whatever that is. Go check it out. So tomorrow breakfast show midday. Hoof the twat.
What's kickoff time, US?
7:45. So that's close to 2 a.m.
1:45.
Close to 2 a.m. And like I said, on Thursday we'll have a Brighton fan come on, send us a video on his predictions, predicted lineups, etc. He was going to make it, could make it because he's going to the game, so traveling and all that. But we're going to get his take on the game and his predicted lineups, which is important. Talking Seagulls is the channel. We'll definitely plug it in so those guys can can get some love. But anyways, thank you so much for your kind support, and we'll see you on the next one.
How are the lads?
How are the lads? Bye bye.
Ta-da.